Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Well, it's no surprise that playing in a park is good for a young person's physical health, but there's a remarkable program that's part of LA Rec and Parks that's good for a young woman's emotional and mental health. It's called Pretty in Pink. So it's basically a conference.
Yes,
It's a conference. Okay, so it's one day.
Yes.
When did you realize that this was something that you needed to support and actually help them with?
Well, after going to one of the conferences, I saw how large it was, and from that, I knew that there needed to be more sponsorship. I mean, they were really going out scrambling on their own, trying to get people to come in and actually assist with purchasing items for them. So as a department, we could get that support to get more funding for the program.
The girls were interested in some of the more serious topics and not necessarily just the goodie bag.
Yes. I know for me, one of the things that I heard a lot of girls talk about was self-esteem. And I would hear comments that they will make about themselves and they weren't positive, or they will hear comments at school and they'd be like, well, the whole school thinks I'm ugly. Or I heard girls talk about the color of their skin, or, you know, the tint, like different things like that. So I'm like, self-esteem is like really important, and I think we definitely need to touch on that. And I think when we have those sessions and we have women that are of different ethnicities come and speak to them and tell them about their struggles, I think it empowers them and lets them know that like those faulty thoughts that I had are not true, because here is a woman standing in front of me who has done it, who's achieved, who's overcome.
It's hard enough to be a young woman in this world, but you know, to actually be able to voice it. Were you surprised that the girls were willing to talk? Because sometimes it's difficult to express yourself when you're young and you're not really quite sure what you're thinking in your head. Were you surprised at what the girls said at these conferences?
I was and I wasn't. The thing that helped some of the girls is that they were able to interact with different girls from different communities. So then it was the sense of, oh, I'm not by myself. I'm hearing from other, girls from the Valley or from East LA or South LA, and they're seeing that they're basically having the same issues.
So what does a day look like? How does it play out?
It's a big day.
It's a big day.
It starts really early, and even the night before. But we always try to do a wow factor, so that's our thing.
Okay.
Where the girls walk into the room, it's like wow, and the whole goal is to make them feel special, and to set the program aside from anything else that they've experienced before. But we always try to have 5 sessions, and then we incorporate some like self-esteem, empowerment type sessions, but then we also add a physical session in there where it's like they're introduced to a new sport or activity. And then we have lunch, we have guest speakers, we have some type of entertainment, so maybe some music, in between like lunchtime, and then like that. So that's pretty much the whole day.
So from a, I don't want to say corporate, but from a department, how has it been received from LA Rec and Parks, and then even further up? Because obviously there's an enormous amount of participation with city leaders, but what has been the feedback in the offices?
They're very supportive of the program. I mean, one of our commissioners came out and actually did an opening for the girls. So to have her come out and actually recognize what was going on was really, really inspirational to have her there.
What do the speakers say to you after their experience? Because you have had this remarkable opportunity to bring some, preeminent people in, or people that could share some of their stories. So what do they say to you after the end of the day?
They love it. At this point, we get approached by people that want to speak. So we get approached like emails. I heard about your conference. Can I be part of it? So we get a lot of good feedback. Most of them end up staying the whole day, and their part is like in the morning, like at 9, and they end up staying until 4 because they feed off of it. They want to walk around. The girls will start asking questions because they start relating. So they'll stay the whole day, just enjoying the day.
It's an energy that you just have in the room, in the different rooms as things are taking place, and that's why those people that come in and speak, they want to be a part of that. And I think it even goes back into, especially when the women come out, their inner childhood. If they could have had something like that during their time, would have been great. And so they want to be a part of that.
Last year had to be a little different.
Right.
And how did that play out? And was it, it was a different experience, I'm sure,
Yes.
but what was the response and feedback you guys got from that?
Virtual Pretty in Pink, of course, ideal, we want to be in person. It's more personal, but given the circumstances, we decided we still want to do something for the girls. I was getting feedback from the girls prior to anything. Oh, and they were telling me about how they were like sad or like it was boring in the house. So I was like, you know, these girls still need support. They still need something. So Jessica and I was like, well, let's go virtual. Let's see how that is. This was our first time doing virtual, so we weren't quite sure.
It was the first time for everybody. You were not
Yeah,
alone.
it was like the technology part that I was just like, okay, let's go for it. So we decided to do that, and we was getting, you know, girls involved and signed up for it. We had about 70, 80 girls that registered for the program. And so it was just like, it was just different because you have to contact them differently. It's not like I'm in your face and I could just give you a flyer. It's more so like, I got to call you, I got to text you, I got to email you, got to get your parents to buy in, you know, whereas before it was just like the kids are at the park, you like Pretty in Pink, oh, sign up and come. So we had to go through that. So, I mean, like I said, when your heart is in it, we put the effort in it. Each session we did have about 50-something girls that participated, and so it was just good. I mean, I was grateful that we were able to do something for them. We did have technical difficulty, but everything else was like great, so no one you know, paid attention to that, or it wasn't a big issue. But same platform, we had topics and we talked to the girls about you know, anxiety, because I mean, a lot of that happened with the pandemic happening. So we did talk about anxiety and get the girls to understand like the parts of their body that they were feeling anxiety, and then ways to cope with the anxiety.
And what anxiety is.
Yeah, so we went through all of that with the girls. They were really responsive, and we thought that too, like, oh, it's gonna be hard to get them to talk, but we couldn't sometimes get them to stop talking. They were like interrupting us during our presentations, and was like, I had this time and my mom, and we was like, okay. You know? So they were like really excited about it, and I think it went really well for it to be the first time. Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback from parents and from the girls, and yeah, so I think it went great for the first time.
Again, we noticed the need of the girls needing that space. They would even log in way before we were, and then they would start chatting amongst each other. So I'm like, they need it. They need the space, or because of the pandemic, they were feeling secluded from friends or from life, basically.
Right, that socialization that they were missing was finally, here's something where we can be in touch with our friends again.
You may not have realized the extent of the power of what you've done, because not just what's happening in the room on that day, but the ripple effect, you know, them getting to know each other from different communities, them getting to understand that everybody may or may not have the same issues that they do, but also getting to know someone outside their comfort zone probably will change their mind. Have you thought about that too?
I think we hope for it. That's one of the things that I hope. I hope my community, let's say like South Park community, they're exposed to other lifestyle other than what they see in a community, which was one of our main focus for the urban, you know, community girls, for them to see that there's more to life than what they see on their environment.
Are there other programs similar to this, or is this very unique to what's happening?
I would say this is unique to what's happening with females. We do have other teen programs where we, like teen summits that we get together, and so then you have that cross of the males and the females. But for just females, this is pretty much what we do.
Okay, so if somebody wants to learn more about this program, what's the easiest, best, and most direct way for them to find out?
I would say laparks.org. Just go to our website, and definitely they would contact us, and that way they would find out more.
And then I imagine there's some things beyond the website as well.
Right, so we have our Facebook page and our Instagram page, which is at Pretty in Pink Empowerment. What did you like about it?
That we get to sip and paint.
Oh, you like the sip and paint, right? What did you guys learn today?
I enjoyed the basing.
You did?
I enjoyed the obstacle course. I enjoyed the art.
Okay, what else did you like?
I like the jumper.
Oh. What was your favorite part today?
Everything.
Everything. Did you like it? Are you going to come again next year?
I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on this LA Currents.